Welcome to the Jay Sapphire Show today. Today I'm going to hit on some things that from my previous show I did, because I had someone on Facebook to question me about something I said specifically. So I'm going to address that, but that's not what really my show about. Today I want to talk about voting. And I want us to think about some things that really affect us as a people. When I say as a people, African American people. But I want to first address something on Facebook, a conversation me and one of my followers had. He wanted to know he wanted me to explain more on what I meant when I said that in my last video, I said something stating that if my children didn't want anything to do with me, I didn't care, or it didn't matter to me. So, because he have children, and he wanted to know on what level and what did I mean by that. So I want to reiterate that and explain more on where I'm coming from. But I don't want to stay on that, because this is not really one of the things I want to focus on every show I do. So for you, I'm going to address this, and I'm going to make it quick as possible, because I really want to talk about voting, and I want to talk about some things that are affecting us as a people, because I know we're not paying attention to certain things. But excuse my little earphone things here. If somebody call me and leave a voicemail, I can hear what they're saying or whatever. That's why I'm wearing this thing. But anyway, the thing I want you to understand and pay attention, John, when you have kids with a woman, that makes you a father. That makes her a mother. You have an obligation to that child to do the best you can as a father for that child, and her as a mother. I was raised by a father that had 21 children, and my father loved all his kids. But my father made decisions back in the day, whatever decisions he made that I don't care to go through or whatever about. But all in all, I seen how his kids were. And retrospective of that, I had kids, and sitting back and looking at things over the years, I sort of emulated some things the way my father did, not knowing that's what I was doing. But I was taught, have kids, have a family, and things of a sort. But nowadays, when you have kids for a woman, if everything's okay with y'all, everything's okay with the kids. But when you tend to fall apart and grow apart, you tend to lose touch on the responsibility that you have for the child as well as her, especially if she have family involved and so on. I never wanted to deny or not want to be a father to my children. But I don't feel that kids is the key to my happiness. I don't feel no human being in this world is going to be the key to my happiness. And we have a tendency to let these things be our happiness, even when they're not right for us. Now, I do love children, my kids, but you must be someone that love yourself and respect and love. Kids are not born with respect. We teach kids respect. We raise kids to be respectful. And when you are not with the man or not with the woman, we tend to use these kids as a tool. So for me, I saw how things were with my father and some of his kids after I got grown. Some of his kids were not respectful, period, to him on the level they should have. In other words, the love that they should have had for him, it wasn't there. But in lieu of that, when I look at my life and my kids, when I had kids with someone, if we were getting along and I was in a relationship with them and then we break up for whatever reason, I don't care what the reason is. I don't care if I cheated. I don't care no matter what I did, unless it's something I did very foul to that woman, because it's a two-way street. Sometimes you have to make a decision to keep you away from the children if you're that person that, may be someone that needs that. But that was not me. But I'm not one that will allow kids to control me or be controlled through kids. And that's what's going on now. You look at Facebook, you have men that have kids with women, and all they're trying to do is see their kid. And they can't see their kid because why? The woman still have feelings. She's mad because she cheated, or he left her, went with someone else, or he done got married again, or they just not together, and she just don't want to act right. She don't want that child to respect and love him because she no longer does. And that's the game we're playing now. I refuse to play that. I refuse to play it. I have kids that the mother is. I have two kids. The mom is great. And the kids, when they got older, they choose that they didn't want to be a part of my life. I have no problem with that. That's their choice. They were old enough, but that's something she allowed them to make that decision when they got older. I was around a little bit when they were younger. But when you get up in age and you have this thing about you that I need to bow down to you, or you a certain way. No, I'm not that dad. I'm not him. Go on your merry way, because it's easy for me to keep moving on. You are a product off of me. I'm not a product off of you. If I wouldn't have did what I did with your mama, you wouldn't be here. So for me, I choose not to be that man that don't recognize and respect that fact. A lot of men don't, and they go through total hell. You can't have a decent relationship. You can't live life decent, peaceful, because it's always drama, dealing with this child or dealing with the child family, the mom. And I never go through that stuff. I don't play that stuff. So that's where I am with that. I wish everybody have a healthy relationship with their kids. That's very important. If you're able to have a healthy relationship and your kids respect you, by all means, please do it. That is the most beautiful thing. And again, another thing I want to tell you is that don't give up. If you want kids, don't give up. I tried more than once. You see? So don't give up. If it doesn't work, meet somebody that has the same mind that you have. Try again. That's what I did. So for me, I'm happy. I don't dwell on the past, and people are going to talk. So let them do it. But don't kiss a kid's ass. I'm not doing that. Their mother's family, or their father, or their father's family. It ain't even worth it, partner, because you, at the end of the day, the things that you were telling me that you do for your kids and the things that you go through, you continue to go through. You say it's for them, but they're going to be the very ones that grow up and tell you to kiss their ass. And when you do certain things, sometimes they'll tell you, I never asked for it. You see, these are things that I'm not only talking about my children. These are things that are happening every freaking day out here in our community. So I'm not going to be one to look over that and say, oh my God, he's the father. He's this, he won't. Hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm living my life, and I am learning as I go. That's what you're supposed to do. I haven't been doing it, and a lot of us, we don't learn as we go. And that's why we go through a whole life of misery and shit, and we don't understand. Because you're still trying to do the politically correct thing. And the more you do that, the more you're being shitted on. I'm not going to go through that kind of lifestyle, period, with no one. And I didn't put so much emphasis on kids. I mean, period. You are the pilot of your happiness. The quicker you can get that in your head, the quicker you can understand. You can't have a positive relationship or nothing going on positive when you have somebody you're trying to do the right thing by that's constantly trying to pull you down through something. It can't work that way. It can't. And my attitude is, if a woman wants to control that, mentally control their mind, and not have sense enough to make that child know and respect who that man is, that's your dad, or vice versa, that's your mother, you can have that. You can have that, because it's a heck of a responsibility that you're taking on all by yourself. And I am absolutely not one to fight for responsibility when I'm willingly don't mind taking on doing the right thing by it. But if you insist on trying to hurt me in the process, I have no problem with walking away. But that's where I am with that in a nutshell. I hope I said something to let you know where I am. I'm not here to tell anybody to take my opinions and live by them. I live by those rules. That is my rule. No one's going to hurt me through no damn kids, and ain't no damn kids going to hurt me. The best thing my kids can do for me, any of them, is love me, respect me, be a part of my life. But the next best thing they can do is stay the hell away from me if they don't do those things. Leave me alone. I have no problem. I won't look for them. And I hope that you was a subscriber when the last time I had a daughter on here that went ranting off on me, lying on me, saying things about me. I left it up so everybody could see it, her character. But she was trying to get me to be a part of her children's life. That explains my character and what I'm about. But I'm not going to be a part of something when the core of it is not right. I'm not doing that. We have to really look back on things and really try to make a difference, because that's something we're not doing as a whole when it comes to Black people. Now, I want to talk about voting. I hope everybody's paying attention to the things that's going on right now with our race. They're trying to keep us from voting, especially in the southern states. And I know a lot of us are not paying attention to the news, Donald Trump, and all this stuff that's going on. And I want to bring this stuff up because for me, the way I look at it is just that I look at it from a common sense approach. Because as I've always said in my videos, I'm not the most brilliant, educated guy out here with all these MBAs and all this whatever crap that they be having. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it's crap, but whatever they get. I feel that way because these things should have been said more than just for me. You know, we've been out of the game for a long time. And I think these things are happening to us because we left the game. We stopped playing. And what I mean by that is all of your Black leaders that fought for things like voting, all of your Black leaders that fought for things for discrimination, and all of these things that we have now in place that they're trying to get rid of, no one's fighting for that no more. They're dead. So they don't recognize, there's no one that see these things that has a voice that's coming out here trying to say, listen, we need to come together. We need to continue to fight for these things. And that's why they're pulling all the trickery tricks with us. They're closing down the voter places quicker. I heard one state, they said that they're going to allow you to come there. If you haven't registered, go ahead on and register and you can vote right then and there. If you can't tell that that's a hoax in that shit, they know that we're going to be lazy. We're going to be sorry. We're going to say, I'm not going to register now. I'm going to go and vote on that day. They know that's the characteristics of what we do. And then when you come there, there's going to be something going on with the machine. The machine that you need to register on is not working. We got so overwhelmed because so many people needed to register today. So we couldn't get everybody's votes in, so we have to close on time. These are things that they are taking away from the African Americans now. And Black people don't realize it. They're taking everything slowly but surely that they can to make you powerless. You have a lady running right now in Atlanta, a governor, that is so close to beating this man. But he's the one, when you register to vote, that have the paper, that process the paperwork.
With less than a month until the midterm elections, the race for Georgia's governorship is a toss-up. With us now from Atlanta, the Democrat in that race, Stacey Abrams. She's deadlocked with the Republican nominee, two-term Georgia Secretary of State, Brian Kemp. And thanks so much for being with us, Stacey. I want to start with a story that the Associated Press broke yesterday and ask you what you can tell us about it. The AP said that your opponent, who again is Secretary of State in charge of registration and voting, said that he's suggesting that he's using his position to suppress voters. Up to 55,000 people who have registered to vote, and 70% of those are Black voters, and they may not even know that he's trying to suppress their voter registration. What can you tell us about that, and what can be done to count every vote?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me this morning. The challenge is this process called exact match. And we've been fighting him on this since 2014. What happens is if you have a hyphen in your last name, if you have a difficult spelling, if anyone misspells or leaves out anything, they can use that as basically as a reason to not process your registration. And that means that about 53,000 Georgians currently have their registrations in pending status. Technically, they can cast provisional ballots, but provisional ballots are often not processed. And so we're deeply worried that 53,000 people, 70% of whom are African American, will be disenfranchised in this election.
And
y'all know that's bullshit. Come on now. Y'all know that's crap. But if that was her doing that, they would make her accuse herself from that. That would be something that she would have to let go in order to run. But enough of us is not standing up saying nothing right now. Nothing. We continue to get beat because we're not playing the game. Martin Luther King, he marched. I don't necessarily go along with his views. I really don't go along with everything he believed in. Because some of his views, such as nonviolence, I sort of don't go along with a lot of things that he said, but I do respect what he stands for. I do believe in certain things in the Bible. But Malcolm X, the Rosa Parks, it's a lot of people that fought for things that we've been given. And now there's no one fighting for these things. No one's fighting for these things now. So they're taking them away. Listen, as a African American or a human being that's in a country that gave you freedom or anything else on paper, something that can be burned, erased, tore up on paper. You never should have stopped the game. We never should have stopped fighting for rights. The rights that we have, we should have still been fighting to enhance them. We never did it. And now we're to the point now, you have all of these people out here with power, black people, they're not saying nothing. And it's sad because when they take certain things, they seem to think that some of the things that they have being rich, they're going to be able to keep it if things are taken. It's so sad because we never learn from life. History should have taught us something. You had an area called Wall Street. I think that was an area where black people were flourishing and they were doing well. They were doing the very things that we talk about trying to do in our community. What did they do to it? What did they do to Wall Street? In other words, the point I'm trying to make, when are we going to start learning from life? When history going to teach us something? You go through college, you go through school, you do all this stuff. And I yet would like to see black people out here, not me. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. I'm just YouTubing it. But I would like to know who's out here that has a voice, is continuing to try and not make their own pockets fat, to being happy being a thousandaire. Even on Facebook, you have a lot of people doing businesses and stuff like that. And the funniest thing is they don't network. They don't want to network. If you reach out to one and try to network, they don't want to network. They want to work all by themselves. If it ain't for them, it's like we haven't learned, divided, we ain't shit. Together, we're strength. And I just want to talk about these things because I really need us to think about this. That's why we're going through all of this. I don't want to keep focusing on all this relationship, family stuff. That is just crap. That stuff is crap because the things that we go through, my problems aren't different from the average man's out there. I just came to the point of looking at life and understanding some things that my dad taught me to bring me to the point of being happy where I'm at now. I am happy. I've been married. I've had kids. The marriages didn't work. I've tried to do the things that I was taught that I needed to do, and it didn't work out. But one thing you can bet on, if you keep pointing the finger at yourself and you give somebody else the power to keep putting you down and keep saying things about you, you're never ever going to grow, because they're never ever going to stop talking. You never ever mentally, and people can say so many things about you for so long, and you'll really start believing it. You will really start believing it. For me, I have some words that, to me, that's my favorite words. And I'm not going to say them because I'm really trying to chill on some cursing sometimes. I know I'm a big cursor thing. Trying to chill with that. But at the same time, I really want us to think about this when it comes to the voting. And look at this, a lot of things that's happening around with all of the racism. It's turning up. But the thing about it, like I said, is key things that we need to do. And believe me, let me put emphasis on this. Let me tell you something. There are some white brothers and sisters out here. There are. There are some Caucasian people that will fight to help you do better. But we so busy trying to do things to one another. Why would I want to do something for somebody that's trying to hurt themselves? We can't have respect. We don't have respect for one another at all. Just like the guy that I had the conversation with on Facebook about his kids. He loves his kids, and he's going through so much stuff to see his kids. And the woman is giving him a hard time. He wants to be a good father, but she's playing mind games with his children and mind games with him. But I'm telling you, I appreciate you for subscribing. I hope you tell somebody else to subscribe. But I want to tell you, man, I'm not doing YouTube to make money. Even though I thank God it's been real nice. I didn't expect for this channel to grow the way it has, but it has grown absolutely phenomenally, very nice, and it continues to grow. But I just want to say that I appreciate the things you said and how you feel about it. But at the same time, I would appreciate more if you understand and get to a place of being happy. Sometimes we have to pay for the decisions that we make. Sometimes we make bad decisions, man. We make bad decisions on a woman we choose. We make bad decisions on a man we choose. You have to understand that. And when you do that, embrace it. My father never told me how to find a woman, what kind of woman. He never told me certain things I need to go out here and look for. He didn't do that. I wasn't taught that. I had to learn that on my own. So I made some bad decisions. I did some bad things when it comes to choosing who I'm with. That don't mean they're bad women. It just wasn't for me. Or I just wasn't for them. But you have to understand, we're not perfect. Life's not perfect. You learn from life and mistakes. And that's the same thing we're going through now with voting. That's the same thing we're going through with supporting one another. Everybody did all of that voting to get Obama voted in. Oh man, first black president. Ask yourself a question. How was he treated? Ask yourself a question. How much, what did he do for the community? Think about that. He had 8 years. 8 years. What did he do for our community? How often did he even come out and talk to our community? Tell me that. I'll wait. See, we tend to love and embrace things that don't mean us as much good as we think. And I'm not putting the brother down. I'm happy to see that happen. But I must say, I don't know about everybody else. When it comes to me, Mr. Obama was limited on the things he may have done for me. I can't speak for everybody else. Healthcare, whatever, that's fine. But there's so many things in our community that we needed help. Drugs, programs for single parents. There's a lot of things that could have been done. So now we want to get mad because this man wants to take care of his community. Well, I'm not getting mad. I can't get mad at him for that. I can't blame him for loving and taking care of his community. Maybe it'll make us love us and take care of our community better. Maybe some of you women let these men be fathers and move on. If you got another woman, go get you another man, or vice versa. If she got a man and she's building and she being, don't worry. That your obligation is to your child. It ain't to her. See, but you tend to take these kids and screw their minds up. If you bring kids up and you tell kids to respect their mom and respect their dad, they're going to do just that. But if you're one of those parents that's just straight crap and play mind games, that's the outcome of what you're going through, man. That's the outcome. So again, I appreciate you subscribing. I hope that I said something to make you think. And I hope that you can respect my opinion on how I feel. And I hope that we would get out and try to vote and understand the things that these people are doing to try to keep us from doing these things and suppress us, because we're in a situation now where we can do better for ourselves. So hey, this has been Jay Sapphire Show. I want to thank my subscriber from writing into me on Facebook, and anybody else that has any questions about my shows, please do so. I'll respond. Jay Sapphire, thanks for watching. Well, no, Jay Sapphire is my show. This is Jay. Thanks for watching. Take care.